My mother was fixing Ella's wedding veil when Mila and I got to the church. She moved slowly, gently, like the lace was made of gold. Her eyes looked soft and happy. I hadn't seen her look like that in years. Not even on my wedding day. That thought came fast and sharp. I swallowed it. Like always. Ella, my little sister, was the one getting married today. She's 29, a preschool teacher, always smiling. Everyone calls her Sunshine. She was the golden girl. And today, the sun was shining just for her. Mila, my husband, leaned in close as we sat down in a pew. He held my hand quietly. "I've got the $10,000 in my pocket," he whispered, patting his jacket. "You sure about this?" I nodded. "It's her wedding." He didn't say anything more. We'd already paid for 1/3 of the reception. I didn't want to talk about money. Not today. I told myself, not now. That became my mantra. Not now. I looked ahead and saw my dad, George. He was laughing with someone from Ella's new family. His back was straight. He looked young again. When I was a kid, he used to slouch. Now he looked proud. Mom sat next to him, smiling. Every few seconds she glanced at the altar, like she couldn't believe this day was real. She saw me once. Smiled a little. A polite smile. I smiled back. Then she looked away. Not cold. Just distant. Like I was someone else's cousin. Not her firstborn daughter. Then the music started. Ella walked in, holding Dad's arm. Mom's eyes filled with tears instantly. Mila leaned in again, his shoulder touching mine. He didn't say anything, but I think he felt it too. The ceremony was short and sweet. Ella cried during her vows. Her husband, Ethan, got choked up too. They looked so happy. They kissed. Everyone clapped. Some people pulled out their phones. I clapped too. My hands felt heavy. I didn't expect to feel so out of place. But I did. I saw my parents smiling and glowing, like this moment was all that mattered. And it hit me hard. The reception was in a beautiful old warehouse. There were white lights hanging above, wooden chairs that didn't match, and lilacs tied to each napkin. Everything looked expensive and perfect. I knew because I helped plan it. But no one said that out loud. Dinner passed in a blur. Mila talked with one of Ethan's uncles about real estate. I ate salmon. My parents were at the head table, right next to Ella and Ethan, looking like kings and queens. Mila and I sat 2 rows down. I smiled when people looked at me. I nodded when Ella glanced over. Then the toasts began. The best man, Ethan's college friend, told jokes only a few people understood. Ella's maid of honor cried during her speech. Then Mom stood up. She held a glass of champagne with both hands. Dad stood beside her, clearing his throat. "Thank you all," Mom began. "We're so happy to celebrate our beloved daughter's wedding." That word, "I beloved," stung like a bee. "She's always brought joy to our lives," Dad added. "Always full of light." Mila reached for my hand again. I smiled, just like I had smiled during my own wedding dinner years ago, when Mom had stood up and said only, "We're glad Rachel found someone." But now they were glowing. Shining. Mom reached into her purse and pulled out a stack of papers. "Ethan and Ella," she laughed. "Your father and I wanted to give you something special to start your life together." She held up the papers. "We're giving you the family home." It was like someone dropped a brick in the room. Then cheers. Claps. People stood. Glasses clinked. Ella covered her mouth, tears in her eyes. Ethan looked stunned. And me? Nothing. Not even shock. I just sat there. Mila went stiff beside me. The same house I had been paying for 5 years. Every single month. The house Mom and Dad had begged me to help save when Dad's factory job was cut and Mom's arthritis got bad. There were no contracts. No papers. Just, sweetheart, we're falling behind. We'll pay you back if we can. And I had said yes. Quietly. Every time. They never told me they planned to give it to Ella. Never warned me. Never asked. I said nothing. My smile stayed frozen. Ella hugged our parents. Ethan kissed her cheek. People whispered around us. So generous. Such a blessing. So beautiful. Mila leaned in close. Did you know? I shook my head, lips tight. Later, Ella passed our table. She squeezed my shoulder. Can you believe it? She whispered, eyes shining. But there was something in her face. Something too calm. She had known. Michael and I left early. I told people he had an early meeting. That we were tired. Happy for the couple, but just tired. In the car, I didn't speak until we were on the highway. Then the tears came. Fast. Hot. I don't care about the house, I said, my voice cracking. It's that they didn't even ask. They acted like I was never part of it. Mila kept driving, his hand steady on the wheel. You were more than part of it, he said quietly. You carried it. They just didn't want to remember. We drove in silence after that. Not angry silence. Just worn-out silence. The kind where words are too small for the pain. Later that night, I sat beside Mila in my robe. The fabric soft between my fingers. They didn't even pause, I said. They just gave it away. Like I was a footnote. Mila didn't rush me. He knew this kind of hurt needed space. It's not just the house, I whispered. It's that they didn't even think it might hurt me. He held my hand. That's when it all spilled out. I told him about graduation, how Mom gave me $50 in a card and said, spend it wisely. 2 years later, Ella got a brand new silver Ford with a big red bow. She's just starting out, they said. Like I hadn't been. I told him about my 21st birthday. How they missed dinner because Ella had a soccer game. Not a championship. Just a game. And how they'd already promised her. I remembered Dad always picking up Ella's calls on the first ring. Letting mine go to voicemail. Mom missing my promotion dinner to babysit Ella's cat. I didn't care back then, I said. I told myself they were just busy. That I was being dramatic. I looked down at my lap. But now? Now it feels like I was invisible. Just someone they leaned on for money. Not someone they loved. Mila leaned closer. You weren't invisible to me. I rested my head on his shoulder. He smelled like clean laundry. Like home. I thought if I worked harder, helped more, they'd see me. He didn't say what we both knew. They saw exactly what they wanted to see, someone who didn't ask for anything. Someone easy to use. 3 weeks passed. I kept to myself. Didn't answer calls I didn't need to. Kept my phone face down every night. No one mentioned the wedding. No one mentioned the house. The silence felt like both kindness and punishment. Then one night, my phone buzzed. Mom, Linda. I stared at it. She sounded cheerful, like nothing had happened. Rachel, honey. Family dinner this weekend. Ella and Ethan are back. We'd love to see you. I wanted to say no. But some quiet part of me, some hopeful part, still wanted them to say sorry. Or something. So I said, sure. We'll come. Saturday came fast. Mila drove. The closer we got, the stranger it felt. Like going to a stranger's home. Not one I'd helped pay for. Ella's SUV was in the driveway. Mom and Dad's old car too. I hesitated at the door. I didn't have a key anymore. Mom opened the door, smiling. Rachel. Mila. Come in. She hugged me like nothing had happened. Dad gave Mila a handshake. A quick hug for me. Glad you made it, he said. Already turning back to the TV. I looked around. Where's Ella? Changing the curtains, Mom said happily. She's been redecorating. I found her in the dining room, on a ladder, replacing Mom's old green curtains with white ones. She looked down, smiled, said nothing. Dinner was meatloaf. The one Mom made for special guests. We sat at the table, me between Mila and Dad. Mom, Ella, and Ethan across from us. Ella and Ethan talked about their honeymoon. Every detail. Every towel animal. Every drink. Every kayak ride. I nodded. Smiled when needed. Mila kept the conversation moving. Then Mom cleared her throat. We wanted to talk to you, she said softly. About something important. Here it comes, I thought. You know we gave the house to Ella and Ethan, she said. They're starting fresh, Dad added. They need space. I stayed quiet. Which is why, Mom said, we'd like to move into your mountain cabin. I put down my fork. What? I said. It's peaceful. Just the right size. Perfect for us, Mom said. I let the silence stretch. So let me get this straight, I said. You gave away the house I was paying for, and now you want to move into my property without asking? Dad frowned. Be reasonable, Rachel. That's not my problem, I said. Ella chimed in. It's not like you use it much. I stared at her. It's mine. I bought it. I decide who stays in it. Mom looked shocked. You're not saying no, are you? I am, I said calmly. No. You can't move into my cabin. 2 weeks passed. I blocked their numbers. Not forever. Just until I could think without shaking. Then on a quiet Tuesday, I got an alert. Pine Hill Cabin, front door opened. I opened the security app. Someone used a key. The alarm blared. Then a call from security. Miss Carter, was that you? No, I said. Send the police. An hour later, another call. This is Officer Reed. We're at your cabin. Your parents are here. They have keys but no permission. My chest ached. No, I said. They don't have my permission. We'll drive up. Mila drove. We didn't speak much. I wasn't surprised. Just tired. When we arrived, the police car was out front. My parents sat on the porch with bags and plastic tubs. Dad stood. Rachel. Tell them it's a misunderstanding. I walked past him to the officers. Yes, I said. They are my parents. But they are not allowed here. Do you want to press charges? The officer asked. Mom stood. Rachel. Please. You broke into my house after I said no, I said. Dad raised his voice. We didn't break in. We used the key you gave us. Mom snapped, this is all your fault. My voice stayed steady. You gave away a house I paid for. Then came for my cabin. And now you say I betrayed you? You're selfish. Mom spat. You didn't raise me to be a doormat, I said. I stepped away with the officers. I don't want to press charges. Just get them out. We can hold them for a few hours, one said. Let them cool off. Good, I said. They took them away. Mila held my hand. I changed the locks. I paid for 1 month of storage for their stuff. I sent the information to Ella. I didn't unblock anyone. 2 days later, Mom posted on Facebook a long message saying I threw them out, called the police, left them homeless. The comments flooded in. People took their side. Mila asked, "Will you respond?" I did. I shared facts. Clear and calm. I paid their mortgage for 5 years. They gave the house to Ella. Then tried to take my cabin. When I said no, they entered without permission. Family is about respect, I wrote. Not entitlement. The replies came fast. We had no idea. I wish you'd told us sooner. You paid the mortgage? And she gave it away? 3 days later, my cousin called. They tried to go back to Ella's, she said. She told them no. They were now in a tiny apartment. Month-to-month lease. Mom had a part-time job at a drugstore. Mila asked what happened. They're in a small place. Mom's working again. I expected to feel proud. But I just felt tired. That night, I saw a voicemail from Mom. Soft voice. We made a mistake. Please call us. I deleted it. Not now. Instead, I put the cabin up for rent. Let someone else enjoy the quiet. Mila asked, "Do you think you'll forgive them?" Maybe not for them, I said. But maybe for me. He nodded. The next call came. I didn't answer. Maybe silence is the only way they'll listen. I sipped my coffee by the window. Outside, the sky was gray. Gentle. Like rain might fall. Not loud. Just quiet. Like peace. They now realize their mistakes, and even their precious daughter Ella and her husband Ethan turns their back on them. I never answer any of them again. Please like and subscribe for more videos. Also comment where you're watching from.